Welcome, everybody, to what is the final episode of the semester. Not ever, but of the semester. We are doing this in the middle of finals week, in the middle of the grind. It is episode 29, presented by Tigervision. Grayson, I'm with him as always. I'm Patrick Neal. This intro is everywhere. But today we are talking about the NFL draft and what happened last week. There are plenty of talking points. Yeah, there are plenty. Just like the finals and everything being scrambled, the NFL draft certainly felt like that. Yeah, for sure. My brain hurts, but we're going to power through it. And Patrick, where do you want to begin? There's so many different places we can talk. Of course, Clemson and how our players got in their landing spots, surprises, winners and losers, the quarterbacks, and the fall of Malik Willis and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, there is so much to talk about. I guess we can quickly cover the Clemson players. Yeah. Andrew Booth and Balin Spector, the only players drafted. Did not see that coming. Yeah, I thought Nolan Turner had a good chance to get drafted after his pro day. I thought Mario Goodrich had a chance to get drafted, and I certainly thought Justin Ross would at least, somebody would take a shot on him. I mean, the Chiefs finally signed him as an undrafted free agent, which, I mean, they have Juju Smith-Schuster, they have Mecole Hardman, they have Sky Moore, who they just drafted. So maybe there's an opportunity for him to get some playing time there. But Booth to the Vikings, he looks good in purple. He looks good in Clemson purple. He's gonna continue to look good in purple.
Will he pick off Aaron Rodgers?
I think so. I mean, he has, in all honesty, I think he has the best ball skills out of all the corners in the draft. So I think he'll be a solid player for the Vikings. Spector going to the Bills. The Bills could. I mean, they have a pretty decent linebacking core, but he just adds depth to them. So I think they'll both be key contributors, I think.
Yeah, I think Spector has a chance of being, especially kind of like just culture fit, just being able to come in and not be like a problem in the locker room. I think maybe starting in the first year is not like an expectation we should throw around, but maybe a core special teamer. Yeah. Maybe somebody that you can put on kickoff, makes a good play every now and then. So happy for the guys. Everyone at least got a chance that went for the draft. Our long snapper got sent to Packers camp, and our punter, Will Spires. Actually, Will Spires is going to the Packers, and I think Tommy Maddox is going to the Eagles, but I'm not sure. So we'll see how it ends up all working out. But congratulations to all the Clemson players. They're getting a shot in the NFL, and it's exciting to see. Yeah, for sure. All right, we covered the Clemson aspect of the draft real quickly. Now, surprise of the draft. This is one of the most entertaining drafts I have ever witnessed. I mean, quarterbacks, only one goes day one. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's unpack that a little bit. Kenny Pickett, the only quarterback to go day one, the only quarterback to go in the first 2 rounds. That was shocking. That was absolutely shocking. Personally, I do not think he is 2 rounds better than every other quarterback in the class. I thought we for sure thought. I mean, you had on our mock draft, your pick for the Steelers was Desmond Ridder. He ended up getting drafted in the 3rd round of the Falcons. Yep. He filled 2 rounds. Malik Willis, I had going at the Seahawks at 9. I think what teams did is this was a draft for quarterbacks. I think the media, if you took the bait, you say, hey, this could be a top 10 pick. Let's go ahead and jump on that before anybody else does. I could have seen Carolina doing that. I could have seen Seattle doing that. I could have seen Detroit doing that, just completely blowing it and drafting a quarterback way too high, but they didn't take the bait. They took the best available. So, yeah, Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh, like that was crazy. Honestly, he's right in their backyard, so it made sense. But I don't really see any of these guys. I don't see any of these guys who got drafted being immediately day one starters. I think it'll probably be either later year or it'll take a couple years for them to really develop. Yeah, I think Pickett has a solid chance to start. I mean, he was taken as a first round quarterback, so he's definitely going to be in a battle there with Mitch Trubisky. I think Ridder has a solid chance to see some game time this year as well. Mariota is injury prone. Yeah, Mariota is by no means a certified starting caliber quarterback. I mean, he has some experience with Arthur Smith in that offense back in Tennessee, but I believe Arthur Smith ended up moving on and taking Ryan Tannehill. So he has had experience with moving on from Mariota before. And Desmond Ridder said himself he's going to bring Atlanta a Super Bowl ring. So. He said he will not leave Atlanta till he wins a Super Bowl, which produced many memes on the internet. Someone said, quote, you'll die before you win a Super Bowl. But I like that confidence from him. I do. I really do. It's just another reason why I believe he will be the best quarterback in this class. It speaks to the winner that he is, and that he's going to come in and establish that kind of. And I think he's also. This is one of those situations where they complement each other really well. You always want to draft a quarterback, like a backup quarterback that can mirror what your starter does, so that comes in and there's not much, it's not too jarring for the entire offense as they get adjusted to a new guy under center. So I don't know if you were watching, I was watching it on NFL Network, and their draft comp for Desmond Ridder was Marcus Mariota. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh,
it makes sense. No, yeah, he definitely has some similar traits to Marcus Mariota. Ryan Tannehill as well, who has run that Tennessee offense successfully. So I think those two are probably the two most likely to get some starting minutes next year. Malik Willis. Ryan Tannehill came out and said it's not his job to kind of train Malik Willis, but I don't have the quote exactly, but I believe it was something like, but if he is training under me, that's not a bad thing.
It's always nice for, I guess, it's someone at his age too. He's gonna be 35, and he just came off of that stinker against Cincinnati. So, it's not wrong of Tennessee, and Tannehill should. Well, I feel like any team should expect, hey, they're gonna draft the future eventually. So they're looking towards building that. I like how Malik complements Tennessee, just because they are a run-heavy offense, and they ended up trading A.J. Brown, which was another surprise. This draft had everything: drama, trades. It had me usually I'm checked out by like second, third round, just kind of checking my phone every now and then. But I was curious to see where Malik Willis would go. I was curious to see what certain teams would do. It was a lot of really great players got drafted later on.
Yeah, there were a bunch of guys who fell. I mean, if you want to, Nakobe Dean also dropping to the third, supposedly because of injury concerns, and he is also an undersized linebacker. But he has prestige. He's a leader. There's that viral clip where he's telling, I can't remember which linebacker it was, it might have been Quay Walker.
Yeah.
To move into his zone and then go makes the play that Quay Walker, if it is Quay Walker, should have made. Then the next play, whoever that linebacker was, gets a pass disruption, gets a sack, tackle for loss, something. And
was that on the 2-point conversion by chance?
I don't remember exactly.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's a viral clip. I'm sure you can go find it. But a lot of people were probably very surprised, including myself, that Nakobe Dean fell this late. The Eagles, I think, honestly, everybody's going to be saying this, but got themselves probably a steal.
They did. At the third round especially, that's like really low value in terms of just what the talent he could be, the production, especially if he gets put in the right scheme. Him and Jordan Davis on the same team yet again.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy that
they got
a lot of people maybe were mocking Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean to maybe they go to the Eagles because the Eagles had 2 first-round picks, but both first-round picks, and to get Jordan Davis, to get A.J. Brown, and then get Nakobe Dean as well. Pretty fantastic draft.
Yeah, that was really impressive to see. I feel he did a good job. They were really in control. I should have really added them to the winners just because they were able to get A.J. Brown from Tennessee, which I did not. If there was going to be a player traded on draft night, I thought for sure it would be Baker Mayfield, just because of all the rumors that have been swirling around him and the Panthers who need a quarterback and this whole Sam Darnold disaster. But I was excited. I'm excited to see how Jalen Hurts fits with A.J. Brown.
No, yeah, I think the Eagles were definitely one of the teams that won the most out of everybody in the draft. I mean, A.J. Brown, there had been a few reports that he might get traded, or because him, Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuel are all kind of on the same contract where it ends after this year. So they've all been associated with some trade rumors. Deebo has not been traded yet.
According to Odell Beckham, he has.
Yet, but yeah, AJ Brown, that's a fantastic pickup. The Eagles get a wide receiver 1, which they honestly have not had in a while.
What you're talking about, Jalen Reagor?
I'm aware I'm talking about Jalen Reagor. But I guess we can. Who else won this draft? Grayson?
I'm going to say Baltimore won this draft because usually you can have a team that like trades up and they try to get like the top player that is on their board. But the Ravens did. They had 2 first-round picks. I think did they end up trading in to get Tyler Linderbaum? But regardless.
They traded up to get Kyle Hamilton and then selected Tyler Linderbaum at their other.
Just fell into their laps. So I think Kyle Hamilton was a top 5 player in this draft, and I think he ended up having a better pro day. The combine might have scared some people off, but he's got really unique skills, and it really he's fascinating to watch. So I'm excited to see how this Ravens team, especially, they're going to be kind of underlooked just because of the year they had, despite all the injuries. Everyone's going to kind of take their eye off them. So I'm really excited.
Yeah,
really excited.
as a Bengals fan, I am scared of this Ravens team because they had an absolute masterclass in just selecting the best player available.
They got David Job too,
Yeah,
the guy that tore his Achilles, but in maybe 8 months, 12 months time, he'll be one of the better linebackers. One of the better young linebackers.
They got honestly like close to. I mean, Travis Jones, who the D tackle from UConn, was mocked in a few places I saw as potentially a first-round pick. So they got potentially 4 first-round talents out of their 4 first-round picks. They traded away Marquise Brown, by the way, if you have not noticed, to the Cardinals for a pick higher than they drafted him, which Hollywood has not exactly been, the wide receiver one that a lot of people probably thought he was going to be. But I guess the Cardinals need him now with DeAndre Hopkins being out for a little while. But they traded him away. They also got Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Likely, 2 of the top tight ends in this class.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to build that depth behind Mark Andrews. So just more, they got more weapons for Lamar Jackson. They got Lamar Jackson another center. They got talent to build around that defense and pretty much try to establish themselves as the top dog in the AFC North. That's going to be a fist fight between the Bengals and the Ravens.
Yeah, and honestly, the Steelers, I mean, I believe, didn't they win every single game with TJ Watt?
I believe so.
That every single game that TJ Watt played last year, I believe they did. If he's healthy all year, and they probably are going to have better quarterback play, they'll be in there. The Browns, depending on if Deshaun Watson gets
we'll see if
any suspension or anything. But the Ravens, I think honestly they might change how their offense works a little bit because you don't have that wide receiver one. They didn't select a wide receiver, at least. Yeah, they didn't select a wide receiver in this draft. They are going to have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards coming back. They got Daniel. I can't pronounce this, but the tackle from Central Michigan. He's Australian, I believe, but they got Tyler Linderbaum, who is going to shore up that offensive line. I think they're going to change the way they run their offense. I'm not sure how. They're obviously leaning into tight ends with Mark Andrews really becoming. Coming in his own last season. So I'm interested to see how this Ravens team performs next season.
Maybe they try a 2 tight end set, like they try to replicate what New England did in the early in about 2010 when they had Gronk and Hernandez. They would utilize that 2 tight end set. They could pass, they could run 8 or 7 and really run the football efficiently. So we'll see how that works out. Another team that I really was impressed with was Detroit. It seems like every year they're picking first, and there's a reason behind it, not just because of their play, but just because who they draft. They've had some notable hiccups, but this year they got Aiden Hutchinson, who I thought in our mock draft was the best player in the draft and should have gone number 1.
Potentially the best player. I'm not sure if I believe that.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's subject to
of course many people believe that. So.
And Jamison Williams, they got arguably the best receiver if he comes out of his ACL injury.
Yeah.
On top, and Josh Pascal, and I think it's even better for Detroit in terms of what they're trying to build.
Yeah,
foundation.
For sure.
All 3 of those guys could have C's on their jersey in the future. They could be captains. They could all be walking up for the coin toss. All 3 of them together. So I'm really excited. It gives Jared Goff extra insurance. I'm not sure he sticks around for too long in terms of the multi-year future, but at least we'll give him a little bit more help.
Yeah, I think. This is a very, very exciting young core all of a sudden in Detroit that they're building. They have, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the wide receiver that they drafted last year. They have DeAndre Swift. They have Penny Sewell. They got so many guys that I believe Dan Campbell is molding into a team that he is going to enjoy coaching, that is going to be good, and that they're going to enjoy playing for him because. At least from the interviews, he seems like a fantastic coach.
Yeah,
that
really
many guys want to fight for, want to play for. So, I agree wholeheartedly that the Lions they had a fantastic draft.
They did. It was really it's impressive. I have a couple buddies that are Lions fans, and they were just like, finally, it's turning around. We're seeing we're finally over that part of the mountain where we can see the peak. Yeah. It's going to be great for them.
What about the New York teams quickly?
The New York teams did really well for themselves. Usually, the Jets I think they might have gotten the best value at the end of the first round, getting Jermaine Johnson, who I do not know. I don't know if you know something that I don't. Is there a reason why he fell?
I'm honestly not sure.
They just came out of nowhere.
I am not in with the New York Jets front office, but yeah, three first round Similar to the Ravens, they got 3 first-round quality players. Top 10, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, Jermaine Johnson, Garrett Wilson, I'm blanking on all the names, and Ahmad Sauce Gardner, who's the second corner taken, by the way, behind Derek Stingley.
I did not see that coming.
I thought there was a chance it happened.
Right.
You know.
Stingley at his best could potentially be one of the better players, but I thought Houston would probably take Evan Neal, but...
But the Jets are doing what the Dolphins are doing and surrounding their quarterback with as much talent as possible to determine if their quarterback is the quarterback they thought they would be.
Because if it doesn't work out if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this year, they're going to ship 2 out pretty fast. And if Zach Wilson, I don't know how much of a leash he has. I'm assuming this isn't his last year if he doesn't perform well, but they're at least building a core. You never know, though.
Yeah.
You never know.
Joe Douglas has built the majority of this offense to his liking. You know, Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, he signed in free agency.
Yeah.
A lot of the offensive line. Michael Carter and now Breece Hall.
They've got like multiple Wilsons, multiple Halls, multiple Carter. It's crazy.
It's crazy. They are saving as much money as possible when it comes to graphics and
That's right.
Signs and posters. And
The
all
Jets do not play around. They know what they're doing. They're big board. They have all right. How many last names can we combine together?
Yeah, they're making it easy for the graphics team. Maybe not so easy for the commentating team. But
We got Hall. Which one?
On the other side of New York, I guess New Jersey technically, because they do play in New Jersey. The Giants, they knocked their first 2 picks out of the park. I think Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. I think they're really, really solid players.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale Robinson as a selection is a little bit iffy to me. I don't know. And kind of like the Commanders too, selecting Jahan Dotson so early. I don't know if you want to select that early for just a primarily slot guy, gadget guy.
We'll get into the Commanders in a second too.
Wan'Dale Robinson, I guess, does that mean Kadarius Toney's out? I'm really not sure. I don't know how much you're going to be able to get for him, but maybe they both stay on the roster and maybe they become some really random gadget dynamic duo that, along with Saquon Barkley maybe even, and it just becomes really weird and it works out.
That's just the Giants, though. When they take 2 steps forward, there's always a step backwards. So they're kind of like a winner with an asterisk, almost.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. So the losers, Patrick. We're gonna have to talk a little bit about my team for a second, but it's not gonna be the most positive.
You wanna go ahead and go on your rant?
I'll tell you a story.
Whatever you wanna.
I'll tell you a story.
Oh, story time.
Okay, so I'm sitting down. It's pick 21. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I'm sure you are.
I had my players. I was like, okay, Kobe Dean, ended up being a 3rd-round pick. Devin Lloyd, who ended up going in the 1st round.
Yep.
And Andrew Booth. I was like, those are reasonable picks. Those fill a need. And maybe Zion Johnson, but he didn't get picked up by the Patriots. The Chargers took him, as they should. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I get a little, I start hearing giggling from my brother and brother-in-law. And they're like, oh, you're going to love this draft pick, because I guess they saw it on Twitter. And I was like, please don't spoil it. Please stop messing with me. And they go, you're not going to even know who he is. And at that moment, I knew. I was in for a doozy. And Goodell walks up there and says, the Patriots select Cole Strange from Chattanooga.
Yep.
And ESPN, Cole Strange, they had no idea who he was, and ESPN didn't even have highlights to represent Cole Strange. I was not happy. There were some choice words that were used.
Oh.
I ended up leaving the house there afterwards and driving home.
Really?
I could hear them now.
You just went and
I said, I'm done.
pouted.
I'm done, and got in the car and left.
Well, I guess the first round was almost over at that point, but that's pretty funny. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Chattanooga has a pretty good track record of NFL players. You know, Terrell Owens went there. So.
Oh, here we go.
So maybe make it. I'm not sure how many Chattanooga players have been drafted, but maybe they make it 2 for 2.
And Cole Strange, he's okay. I saw some good things about him, but we'll see. I think we could have gotten him in probably round 3, like Sean McVay famously said on Thursday.
Yep.
Clowning Belichick.
Yeah, they were waiting for him at pick 104.
Yeah, and Belichick said, not so fast. I got him at 29.
Mm-hmm. Absolute steal.
He says, hey, y'all are playing checkers. I'm playing chess.
I mean, maybe he turns into an All-Pro.
I mean, if
You
he's an
never know.
All-Pro guard, this thing will be documented as like my pain turned into happiness. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not really enthusiastic about it, especially with the rest of the way the draft went. Had some things I liked. Had some things I don't like.
What about Bailey Zappi also going to the Patriots? Is Mac Jones on the hot seat?
I don't understand that either, especially when we had those extra 4th-round picks for trading back. I don't know what we did. I like Tyquan Thornton, maybe a little bit of a reach because I think he would have been available later. But I like the idea of what we were doing there. I like the corner from Houston, and that was about it.
Marcus Jones, yet another team that is saving on graphics
The Joneses.
and drafting a ton of players with the same or similar names.
Teams in the AFC East are just doing what they do.
But Bailey Zappi, he did throw for the most passing yards ever in a college football season.
If it's like a Drew Bledsoe situation where Billy Zappi comes in and wins a Super Bowl and we kick Mac Jones to the curb, that would be, I will, if anyone, all right, I'm going to say this now. If that happens exactly next year, everyone that comments on this show, I will personally find you and give you $100. I am so confident. That is the most unbelievable situation.
All right. I don't know what your motivation is for doing that, but
It's just,
I'm going to
it
comment
is
on this
so
now.
unlikely.
I'm going to comment with a few accounts. I'm gonna get my ghost accounts.
You're going to get Kevin Durant's burner account?
Yep. I'm going to get my burners and
I'm making
comment
it.
on this YouTube
I will
video.
hold it to it.
If it means we get a lot more interaction on this video, I'm all for it. We're basically buying subscribers at this point, I guess. But yeah, if you've tuned in this long, go comment, go like everything up, and if you like it, will you give everybody like extra money?
No, well, we're gonna stick with the standard 100, because I don't want to put myself too much in debt.
So what is that? Basically, if Bailey Zappi is the starter by the end of the season next year?
If Bailey Zappi wins a Super Bowl for the Patriots next year, I will.
Next year?
Yes. Basically.
Did Tom Brady win it in his first season?
So Brady was drafted and then took over for the injured Bledsoe in his second year, and in that first year of starting, he won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
So that's what I'm basically like.
Basically, Bailey Zappi has 2 years to do it.
He's got 2 years.
Okay. So we'll revisit this in 2 years. I'll set a timer on my phone. And
Just
if Bailey Zappi has won a Super Bowl,
I owe somebody some money.
yeah. I'll make sure to enter that into my calendar. But another loser, Justin Fields.
Poor guy.
Poor dude. I mean,
Get him out. Justice.
absolutely zero help. The Bears draft. They draft Velus Jones, the only wide receiver they draft. No wide receivers signed in free agency besides like Byron Pringle, which is Byron Pringle, I guess. Velus Jones, who's primarily like a return guy. He's not a wide receiver one. He's a small slot. Braxton Berrios type, maybe. Maybe he becomes an all-pro at a returner.
Maybe.
Like Braxton Berrios. Some late round linemen, and that's about it. That's all the help Justin Fields gets.
Justin Fields was standing at his TV like George Pickens was, but he was not happy.
He was probably punching that TV. But this just means Darnell Mooney might have the greatest fantasy season of all time next year. Because he will be the only wide receiver on that roster.
Stop it. Darnell Mooney.
He had a solid. I had him on a few fantasy teams. He was solid.
He was solid?
He was solid. So
the prophecy is coming true.
Yeah, here it is. Darnell Mooney is going to have a very solid
All-Pro year.
Maybe not All-Pro, but maybe Pro Bowl. Maybe.
Maybe to the Pro Bowl.
If the Bears are somehow all right and Fields takes that next step, you never know. He had a 1,000-yard receiving season this year, so Darnell Mooney, watch out. Pick him up in fantasy, and you will not be disappointed. I'm not going to put $100 on it, though.
Well, I don't think it's as unlikely as Bailey Zappi winning a Super Bowl for the Pats.
I think it's more likely, but I'm still not willing.
Okay,
My bank account is probably not looking as good as yours.
Bailey Zappi has to play in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He can't.
Well, yeah.
He can't just sit there with a clipboard.
Yep, that's fair.
I have to clarify, so I don't get caught later.
I got you.
All right, thank you.
I'll hold you accountable too.
Thank you.
But any other losers? Washington, like we mentioned earlier, Jahan Dotson.
I didn't like Carson Wentz, and I didn't like Jahan Dotson.
They also picked up Sam Howell as well.
I wonder if he'll start. That would be funny.
Maybe.
Why not?
But probably not. I don't know. I mean, he's a 5th-round quarterback, so the likelihood that he starts is not high. But Jahan Dotson being picked at 16 was a little interesting to me. Primarily a slot guy, probably in the NFL. I guess they have some premium on slot receivers now, with what Cooper Kupp did, but I don't know if Jahan Dotson is going to be quite Cooper Kupp level.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
And then also Matt Ariza.
The punt god.
I mean, he goes to a good team, but he was
really.
the 3rd punter selected. They don't punt a lot, so he won't have to do a lot of work. And when he does come in, they're just gonna tell him bomb it down the field, you know.
Yeah, do what you do, man.
What's the elevation in Buffalo? Is it high? Is it low? Because if it's real high, his punts are gonna go soaring.
We'll see.
Absolutely flying.
Well, I mean, if he went to Denver, it'd be.
Yeah. That would be a dream matchup.
600 feet.
Okay. What was it at San Diego State? We're doing some in-depth research here.
We're doing some in-depth. San Diego State. If my computer will load. Okay, we're doing the Okay. Whoa.
Okay. So actually, Matt Ariza is a fraud because San Diego State is 14,500 feet above sea level.
The punt god is a punt fraud.
So the punt god is going to turn into a punt fraud because he won't be able to hit it as far in Buffalo.
And the elements too. Is he a bust at punter?
Oh, potentially.
This is how we wrap up.
Supposedly he has very little accuracy. He's just a guy that likes to boot it. So
he just hits dingers.
We've got a few takes on here that we're gonna have to bookmark. One, Bailey Zappi is winning a Super Bowl within 2 years. Another one, Matt Ariza, fraudulent. You've heard it here first. And
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney is going to be a Pro Bowler, I guess.
These are the kind of really deep topics we bring to the table.
Bookmark Cover 2, episode 29, whatever minute we're in right now. Come back to this in a few years, and you'll see the genius of Cover 2.
If you haven't already, man, you're a little behind. But
yeah, for sure. Any closing thoughts, Grayson?
I am just thankful for the year, thankful for the semester, as always. It's an honor to come up with these fun takes with you, my friend.
Of course.
Excited for for what's coming. Thank you to Zach, as always, for
29 episodes produced.
Yes, behind the booth. Zach is the real god out here.
Mm-hmm. He's not fraudulent.
Yeah.
Zach is not fraudulent.
That's a take we will stick by.
But yeah, I agree. It's been awesome. Looking forward to what's in store next. We might do some summer shows. I know I won't be available for the first half of summer, so maybe second half of summer, maybe some July check-ins.
Might do a little summer reunion.
Yeah,
get the boys together
potentially. But looking forward to next year.
Yeah, 2022 to 2023 is going to be a banger. Mm-hmm. Going to be looking forward to making some content for sure.
Of course. So, as always, we want to thank you for tuning in, liking, commenting, subscribing, listening, watching.
Watch our show, watch the other shows on Tigervision.
All the verbs you can do to this show.
Yeah, do them all.
Do them all. Yep. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us through 29 episodes.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come for sure. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Good luck on your finals if you're taking finals. And have a good summer, everybody. We'll see you later. Have a good one.